Two Casual Podcast, episode number 8. How you doing, Drake?
I've never been better.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. How are you, Andy?
I'm fine. Drake just had a staring contest with me starting the podcast.
Everything hurt.
Yeah. How you doing, Drake?
I'm better now that I can be normal.
I mean, you put yourself... I literally didn't do anything. You were just smiling and staring, and I refused to start the podcast.
It helps when you start it.
I mean, you could start it. There's nothing stopping you from starting it.
I don't know the words.
It's literally like 4 words.
I don't believe it.
It's 5 words.
I cut it out whenever you say it, so I don't even know. And we gotta have...
You literally could just be like, podcast. Hello. Podcast, hello.
Liberty Bibberty.
Yeah. So, Drake, what have you done this week?
Well, besides work, me and Jenny have been watching Married at First Sight. We love that show, and all the seasons are on Amazon, so we watch it, and I think that's about all I've done.
Yeah? Nothing else?
Yeah, I mean podcasts, but...
Yeah. You know.
About it. What about you?
Work. Sleep.
Work? You having fun working?
Sure.
It's an exciting life.
Yeah. I watched a wrestling documentary.
Well.
Called You Cannot Kill David Arquette. Do you know who David Arquette is?
No, but he was on a podcast recently.
He's in a lot of podcasts recently. David Arquette's a Hollywood actor. Most notable for, like, Scream. He was the cop in Scream. Like, what's his name? Dewey from Scary Movie is, like, a meme version. He's the... Dewey from Scary Movie is the... I can't think of what his name in Scream is, but David Arquette is the cop from Scream. What is his name?
Gotcha.
You know, Dewey is the Scream one. What's the Scary Movie one? Now look at me getting them mixed up. Dewey is the Scream one.
It's also the Scary Movie one.
Is it?
Because he's like, Captain Dirty reporting.
Is it Dewey or is it something else?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Both great movies. Does it really matter? No. But I'm looking for it. It's Doofy in Scary Movie.
Doofy. Oh, well, I'm stupid.
Dewey in Scary Movie. Or Dewey
Gilmore.
Dewey in Scream. Doofy in Scary Movie.
Yeah.
And Scream was supposed to be called Scary Movie originally. So.
The more you know.
But David Arquette, in the year 2000, he had a movie where he was a wrestler. And so he was on WCW, which was the competitor to WWF at the time. And he won the heavyweight title, so wrestling fans like hate him. And recently, in like 2018, he got back into wrestling. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna become a wrestler now. So he became a professional wrestler. It's a documentary following that.
Interesting.
At the age of 46.
And
then I watched Do the Right Thing. And then I watched a new movie that came out literally today as we're recording this, yesterday as this comes out. The new Charlie Kaufman movie on Netflix, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. And both You Cannot Kill David Arquette and I'm Thinking of Ending Things are my 1 and 2 movies of this year. So, you could say I had a good week watching stuff. Yeah. Nothing, Drake? You just stare at me?
Yeah, I'm just going to stare at you. Yeah, I knew that I saw on Letterboxd that you watched the one.
I listed 3 things and you said the one.
Well, yeah. I'm thinking of ending things.
Yeah.
I swear I'm awake. It's just like, it's hard to say words and think of things right now.
Yeah? Maybe it's the beanie.
No, that actually contains my thoughts. It lets them not leave.
Yeah, that's it. Won't let you. You can think the beanie's stopping you from speaking.
That might be true.
You know, it's like clogging up your brain.
I'm really having to pull to.
When I say the show Magic School Bus, what's the first episode you think of?
When they go inside the body.
That's what everyone says. Literally everyone says that.
Why would I? Because that's like the craziest thing ever.
Well, like everyone, this is the first one everyone thinks of. I asked a bunch of people this week. I was like, top 5 Magic School Bus. I was memeing the top 5 because no one's gonna have a top 5 at the top of their head.
Yeah, no.
But literally every single person says the one where they go in the body.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll move into our film club selection this week. It was my pick again. And it's Do the Right.
Pick order.
Yeah, I'm a pick whore.
No, I'm kidding.
If we technically count the guest pick as my pick, I've had 4 picks and you have 2, so I guess it's correct. But if we count the guest pick as guest pick,
then it's 2 and 2.
Pretty equal. It's 3, 2, and 1. I have 3, you have 2, and you're about to get the third one, so. But my pick, Do the Right Thing, for 1989, is directed by Spike Lee. It stars, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, Danny Aiello. Definitely butchered that. It's an Italian name. Ozzie Davis, Spike Lee, Samuel L. Jackson, Martin Lawrence, so many more. The cast is pretty, it's pretty good. It's basically, it's the hottest day of summer in Brooklyn. The story technically follows Sal, or Danny Aiello, or whatever. I'm butchering that name. Even though there's not really a main protagonist in the story, it's really an ensemble. It's the whole neighborhood is the main character. But Sal owns a pizzeria, and Bugging Out, played by Giancarlo Esposito. You might know him as Gus from Breaking Bad, or he's the antagonist in the new Far Cry game coming out next year. But Bugging Out becomes upset when he realizes that there's no blacks. There's no black pictures on the wall of fame inside the pizzeria. And that's kind of the summary of the movie, even though a lot more stuff happens.
Yeah.
So Drake, did you write a paragraph about this movie?
Nope.
Dang.
I didn't have time, but I did think, so that's important.
Yeah, you thunk?
You want me to give my thoughts?
Yeah, what'd you thunk?
Okay, so I really only had 2 things that I took away from it. One, I liked that Radio just like blasted Public Enemy on his boombox.
That Radio Raheem?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. So that, and then obviously this movie is politically charged, and not really politically charged, but more just like viewing how things are in America right now. And the thing that I took away from it is like, at the end of the day, we can all sit here and try to like understand people's point of views, and we can see that everybody has different point of views, and you can never really know what somebody's going through at their house, in their life or whatever. So the only thing that you can do is just be a good person. Just do the right thing. Just be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how I live my life, and yeah.
So that kind of leads to like the main question of this movie in the title of it. We're getting a spoiler territory if you haven't seen the movie. There's timestamps. I would recommend checking those out unless you want it to be spoiled. The main question of the story is, do you think that Mookie does the right thing at the end of the movie? Whenever all the tensions have flared, the cops have killed Radio Raheem, Mookie picks up a trash can, throws it to the window. Do you think Mookie does the right thing?
No.
No?
No.
There's a lot of arguments for and against it. It's like the main thing people talk about for this movie. A lot of people say that he saved Sal's life by throwing the trash can through the window because it took the heat off him and it put the focus more on destroying the store. And I guess the main other takeaway with doing the right thing is that at the end of the day, he thinks he did the right thing. So, like, who are we to, like, I can't say if he did the right thing or not, because at the end of the day, he thinks he did the right thing, because on the second day, he comes back, and he never, like, apologizes for it. He just gets his money. He's like, I'm not focusing on that. It happened. There's nothing we can do about it. It's the past. And, like, the whole, like, him doing him throwing the trash can through the window, taking the focus off Sal. Spike Lee denies that as what his intentions were in doing that. But, I mean, that's just like a classic case of whose opinion matters the most on what something means. Like, if you watch a comedy movie and you think it's scary, does that make it a scary movie? Like, do you think if you think it's a scary movie, but it was intended to be a comedy movie, is it a comedy or is it a horror movie?
Yeah. Who's right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that he does do the right thing because he thinks he did the right thing. I mean, obviously, violence is, it's bad, and they showed the quotes at the end, like Martin Luther King's quote, where he's against violence, and then Malcolm X, who is against, Malcolm X is for violence and self-defense. That's the quote, kind of. I'm probably butchering that.
Yeah, I mean, that's right.
But you can't say either one of those. You can't say Martin Luther King is wrong, or you can't say Malcolm X is wrong. It's just they think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the only person that I think that everyone in the story does the right thing besides the cops. The cops are the only people that don't do the right thing. Because, I don't know. Yeah. This is not an easy one to talk about. And I knew going into it, it wouldn't be a fun one to talk about.
Yeah.
Were you about to say something?
No.
Oh, I thought I cut you off. This movie has great cinematography and like set design and costumes and all that to portray how hot it is on this day. They actually put I don't know if they painted over the buildings or they just like put a filter on the camera. I know they put filters in to draw out the warm. They drew out all the blues and like the purples, and they made it more red and more like. Yeah. They brought up like the heat, like look, and like the clothing on them looks like it's like sticking to their body. All the characters are sweating all throughout of it, and it's like cool. They really play into how hot it is there. And the inspiration kind of for that was Spike Lee. When he was a kid, he watched, he didn't remember what it was from, but people, figure things out quite easily. Cause the internet exists. He, on Alfred Hitchcock's Presents, which was an old TV show back in the day, to call back to the last film club pick, North by Northwest by Alfred Hitchcock. But Alfred Hitchcock Presents, there was an episode called Shopping for Death that was about, 92 degrees. There's more crimes that happen at 92 degrees than any other temperature. And it's scientifically proven that the hotter the temperature is, the more crimes happen. And it's kind of like, he never put any science into it, so it's funny that scientists have proven it. But it was kind of the heat plays a factor in them blowing up. And how he did it because he noticed that you never see riots happening during the winter time.
Ah.
And then it's kind of weird because this happened before even the Rodney King riots in 92. This movie came out before that. This movie kind of predicted that. Or some people thought this movie would inspire riots. Public Enemy, as you said, it's great. Soundtrack's great. It's It's really just like a movie about differences of opinion versus what is actually right.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. It's cool. I like a lot about it. I love like the visually. It's a very fun movie at times, and then it gets very serious. I've mentioned it in a previous episodes how I just for some reason love Italian Americans. I just think they're so funny, and
Yeah. They really are.
I mean, Vino and Pino. I think it's Pino is the prick. Obviously, he's a bad character, but I just think it's so funny. Like, cause I mean, it's a realistic portrayal of it, but I just think Italian Americans are so funny. I don't know why. I guess that's somewhat racist to me, just because I think they're funny, or the opposite of racist. I guess I don't know, but I just think Italian Americans are funny.
I was gonna say you like them, so
Yeah, I don't know how to put a word there, but I think
yeah.
Italian Americans, the way I don't know why I think it's funny either. Like, it's just for some reason, I just think it's so funny. And like, I like how throughout the movie, they're like, there's a point where they show the different races, like the Latinos, the Koreans, I think it was the three blacks on the behind the red, brick wall. And they're like, the blacks are like, oh, I hate the Koreans. And then, the Latinos are like, I forget how it goes, but like how they all are racist in the story. And like everybody hates each other.
Right.
Yeah. And there's also like another deeper thing on that, like how Italian Americans and blacks kind of started in America the same way. They both started kind of at the bottom. I mean, obviously blacks were slaves, and it's obviously worse. I'm saying at that time, they're both in New York, like, you know, at both very difficult, and like how the system was systematically against black people, how like Italian Americans rose up to become good businessmen, and how like police brutality, stuff like that kind of held black people back. Yeah, not definitely a classic movie. Definitely one that I think everyone should watch. It's definitely one of the hardest movies to talk about. Not really the hardest movie to talk about, but it's kind of, you know, it's not fun to talk about, I guess. It's the best way to say that.
Right.
But yeah, Drake. One thing before we move on, at one point there was a shaved ice scene. I have two questions. Did you watch this movie, Ginny?
No.
Oh. Well, second question is, did you like the shaved ice scene? Was that like a Leo DiCaprio meme where you're like, oh, shaved ice?
No, I didn't think about it. If Ginny was there, we definitely would have, though.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you watch with Ginny, because I feel like that's not how y'all do it. Do y'all have like a giant thing of ice that you scrape?
It's
or do you have like a machine? I don't know how you do it.
Machine. Yeah, there's a machine. It comes in like a block, and you put it in this machine, and then it shaves it down. Like you just pull a handle. It's not fancy.
Yeah, it's not fancy like how the old people did it, where they have a giant block of ice and they have to manually do it.
Yeah, that's what. Well, yeah.
Yours is fancy. Theirs isn't.
Theirs is artsy.
I guess.
But yeah. What flavor was it?
What?
What flavor was the snow cone?
It's a snow cone guy. Do you not remember this?
No.
It was like a snow cone guy. He shows up and everyone's like, oh, finally snow cones. And then the ice cream truck drives by and everyone runs. They're like, oh, we want ice cream instead. And the guy's like, hey, what is this? I have the shaved ice.
I need to rewatch it and watch it with Ginny, because
it's a very like, it's like 4 or 5 seconds. The guy's just like, he has like a cart with a giant ice thing. And then he's making shaved ice for like 2 seconds, and then an ice cream truck drives by. And then everyone leaves that shaved ice guy.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
See, this movie is now sad to me.
Is it? Because the shaved ice guy got screwed?
Yeah. I mean, who cares about ice cream, you know? Get some shaved ice.
I mean, beep. I personally don't really
Don't even say it.
crave sugar at all, so neither of them.
You can get sugar free.
It's not even that. Like I I just don't care for it.
Okay, well.
So Drake, out of
Sad
10,
now.
how do you think about Do the Right Thing?
8.
I gave it a 9.
Really. It was really good. I liked it. It just, yeah, wasn't like 9 or 10 for me.
Yeah, unlike Sonic movie, we gave it a 9.
No, I'd give it a 10 if I rewatched it right now.
I was gonna meme watch Sonic every day for September,
Yeah?
but I meme logged it on my letterbox twice and I ended up deleting it because I never actually watched it. And I planned on like watching it the rest of the month to make up for it and just like lie that I didn't do it. But then I was like, man, it's really gonna, when someone looks at my letterbox and they go to my stats, it's gonna be like, I've watched my most watched movies. I think A Trip Through New York. I've seen it 4 times. It's a short film from 1911. It was like Taxi Driver, The Lighthouse. I think Goodfellas is on there, and then like all those are like 2 times, and then you have 32 times a Sonic movie if I actually watched it every day in September. Yeah,
That'd be good.
I decided not to.
Well,
It was a funny meme. I can always go back and do it. I mean, we're only 4 days into September.
that is true. Maybe you could do it in another month.
Yeah, what other month starts with S?
Why does it have to start with an S?
You know, like Sonic September.
Oh, okay. I'm ready for next month. I'm excited.
Yeah? You ready to get
It's
scared?
spooky season. Yeah. Can't wait.
I thought of an Halloween costume idea for the podcast, but I doubt we'll do it. We'll see.
We will see.
Drake, what's your pick for next week?
My pick for next week is Rushmore.
Rushmore from 1998, directed by Wes Anderson.
Yep.
Starring that one guy that's in a lot of things that I don't know his name.
Starring that one guy.
Rushmore from 1998, starring Jason Schwartzman. Also has Bill Murray in it. Brian Cox. Luke Wilson's in it. And yeah, interesting pick. Why'd you pick it, Drake?
You know, I just thought it would be kind of my style of movie. I've never actually seen it. I just kind of thought it would be something I would like, so.
It is free on IMDb with ads.
I think it's also on Amazon Prime. You got that?
Not according to my thing. It might be. My thing says no. Could be.
Oh.
I don't know. Letterboxd could be lying to me. Also, Amazon Prime and IMDb is the same company, so
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised
That's
if it's
probably
on
why.
there with no ads.
I watched a movie like that the other day, actually.
What movie?
Like it was on Amazon Prime, and I clicked on. I don't remember, and I clicked on it, and it took me to IMDb.
Yeah,
So that makes sense.
because Amazon owns IMDb. Incredible. They also own Goodreads. They have a monopoly on review things besides Letterboxd. You know, Letterboxd is better than IMDb, and also there's other review things. Like Goodreads and IMDb are like known as the 2 most popular thing. Goodreads is books, if you didn't know. There's like the
Didn't
2 most popular review sites. For one,
Don't they own Audible?
Good.
Too?
Well, Audible is just a listening site.
Yeah, but like as far as watching,
They also own Kindle.
really? Oh yeah, I knew that.
Well, they started as a bookstore, if you didn't know.
Amazon did.
Yeah, it was originally a bookstore. They only sold books, and
Huh.
they basically became more convenient than going to like the bookstore, and like obviously they had a bigger catalog because it's like they could have a
Anywhere.
hypothetically unlimited catalog of books to sell. Versus
Interesting.
You know, like a library that only has a limited. Whatever. And Amazon's like the biggest thing ever. And then they don't pay taxes.
You learn something new every day.
Sure. This was big on Twitter and Instagram, so maybe you've seen it. I wrote it down as a topic before it was I saw it like 2 days before it blew up. And I was like, this would be an interesting topic to bring upon you, but maybe you've seen it because it was quite popular. But have you heard of infinite monkey theorem?
No.
Fantastic. So, it would suck if you knew what it was. Let me pull up the thing. Alright, so infinite monkey theorem states that monkey hitting keys at random on a typewriter keyboard for an infinite amount of time will almost surely type any given text, such as complete works of William Shakespeare. In fact, the monkey would... And then it cuts off the picture. But the monkey theorem is that if you give a monkey infinite time in a keyboard, it'll eventually type a Shakespeare book or whatever play. How do you feel about infinite monkey theorem?
Just one monkey?
I mean, yeah. One monkey with
just
infinite time.
One monkey on one typewriter with infinite time.
Yeah.
Does it have to be in order?
Yeah. Hypothetically, hitting keys at random for an infinite time, he would eventually write a Shakespeare play.
You know, it's really easy to say no to that, but if you think about it, it's just hard for us to fathom infinite amount of time. So why not? Yeah, sure, I'm with it.
Scientists actually did this in 2003.
It did it in 15 minutes.
At the University of Plymouth, they gave a monkey a typewriter.
Okay.
And it wrote out 15 pages of the letter S and then broke the keyboard. You can actually look up. It's on the internet. You can look at his page. It's not all S's, but it's like mostly S. He like just spammed the S key, and there's a couple other letters. And you can look up exactly what he typed.
S key.
It has a whole Wikipedia page, Infinite Monkey Theorem.
Wow.
And yeah, it's great. Screw Pythagorean, or screw Pythagoras and his theorem.
Yeah. He's not right.
It's not even true. That's not even a real theorem. No one can prove to me that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That doesn't make any sense. But
I don't believe it.
But infinite monkey theorem makes perfect sense. Like infinite time.
I agree.
He'll eventually do it.
It didn't say anything about breaking the keyboard, though.
I mean...
Does he get another keyboard if it breaks?
I would assume he'd get another keyboard.
I think so, too.
I mean... It makes total sense that he will eventually type it out.
An infinite amount of time, yeah. Anything could happen.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Monkeys are funny. I was also thinking, like, weeks ago, because hockey's going on. My Bruins are out of the playoffs. Yeah, the Bruins are dead, basically, because Zdeno Chara is probably going to retire. David Krejci's going to go play in Czech Republic, basically. Torrey Krug, we don't have enough money to pay him. Tuukka Rask, who just was the best goalie in the league, he's probably going to leave. But we have a nice, solid young core. But anyways, whatever. I was thinking, you don't know much about hockey.
Not
like,
even a little bit.
At all. So, I don't know why I thought of giving you a hockey lesson. Just like a funny one. Do you know who Marian Hossa is?
Nope.
So, Marian Hossa is a Hall of Fame hockey player that played in the NHL for 2 decades. He played for 19 seasons, all right? Hall of Famer.
Moons.
And then he suddenly retired because he became allergic to the equipment in his jersey. After 19 seasons. I'm literally.
Did the equipment change?
Nope.
Or?
He got a progressive skin disorder that made him allergic to his equipment. He just would have an allergic reaction anytime he wears equipment.
So is this like a thing that he just said and the doctor signed off on it, or?
This is a legit thing.
Interesting.
And it forced a Hall of Fame career NHL player to retire.
So that could happen with like you and clothes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's the clothes portion. I think it's more the equipment. I think it's like the padding.
Just like rubbing over time and what's in it.
Yeah.
Interesting. That would suck. To have to be like medically retired. I'm sure he was like close to it anyway, but.
Yeah, he was. I don't know what exactly he was allergic to, but that's just weird, you know?
Yeah, that would suck. I mean, yeah. It's a rough way to go out.
It's wild, you know?
Who'd have thunk it?
Trying to think of what exactly it is, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. Who knows?
Exactly.
Nintendo announced Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That's a game coming out on the Switch, which is Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, all coming to the Switch. Drake, if you played any of these games, one.
No, sir. Not once.
Have you ever played a Mario game?
Mario Kart.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it. On my Game Boy, I had Mario Karts.
I
used to play it.
That's more mind-boggling than anything.
I'm not a video gamer, you know this.
Yeah, but it's Mario.
So? I played sports and stuff.
Alright? It's Mario.
I know, but I don't know. I just didn't make time for it.
Well, there's a lot of hot, people are mad because it's a limited release. So they're releasing these games digitally and physically. The physical release is very limited, and digitally, you can only buy it until like February or something. And people are mad because people are mad that you can't buy it. Like, people are like really upset that it's a limited digital release.
Why?
Because, like, you know, why would it be limited? I get the point, because it's the whole thing is it's celebrating the 35th anniversary of Mario.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they're releasing it.
Okay.
So, you know, it's in celebration of something. Once the thing is passed, you know, the thing's no longer celebrating it, you know? You can still, if you buy it before that deadline, you can still play it until the end of time. Or until your Switch dies.
So just buy it.
Yeah.
All these haters. That's my message to all these haters. All Nintendo
just buy
haters. It. Just buy it, bro. If you can't, have somebody buy it for you. It's your sugar mama. Or sugar daddy.
I mean, you know. It's incredible that you haven't played Mario 64.
I couldn't even... I know the characters.
Yeah?
Because I played with them in Mario Kart, but...
There's a lot more characters than that.
Well, I don't know all of them.
So, like, innovations in video games, a little video game history. Because Mario 64, you could argue, is the most important game in history of video games. One of, at least. It's the first ever 3D game. Like, I don't know. Whenever it comes out, I'm going to make you play it.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my Switch over to your house and force you to play it until you beat the game.
Beat the game. No, that'll take go.
Even though it's a very long game.
And me beating a game would take years.
Well,
except for Red Dead Redemption 2. I did pretty good at that for some reason.
well, see, Red Dead Redemption 2, it has like a somewhat linear story where it's like, go here, do this, go there, go do this. Mario 64 drops you in this world, and it's like, find all these stars, and the only thing we're going to do is give you a little hint of where they're at. They don't tell you where it is. There's no map, nothing. It's like, here's a little hint. Figure it out. Have fun. And yeah, it's a great game. So Super Mario Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine's like super nostalgic for me. It's very similar. It's more linear. It gives you a lot more help. And there's kind of like a more linear path versus Super Mario Sunshine. Or Super Mario 64 where it's kind of like, let go. In Sunshine, there's more like, how to explain? There's like a hub world, alright? And it's like Mario's castle or Bowser's castle. And you jump into these paintings, and those paintings take you to another world. And in that world, there's like 10 stars. In Super Mario 64, or Mario 64, sorry. It is Super Mario 64. You can go painting to painting. You can also do that in Super Mario Sunshine, but in Sunshine, it's kind of like the game tells you the order to do it in, versus in Super Mario 64, where it's kind of like free reign. And I've never played Galaxy, but Odyssey is also the newest one in this genre, 3D Mario's, is also very linear and tells you what to do. But yeah, it's crazy you've never played it. I'm going to force you to at least play it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for it, but
yeah, I mean, it's the first,
I almost got a Switch Lite like probably 6 months ago, and then I just decided against it.
And now they're like impossible to find, so.
Yep. It was literally right before that, like they went on sale or something, and I was like, I might buy one.
When do you think Mario 64 came out, based on the information I've given you?
1987.
Close. 1996.
Oh, well. I overshot a little bit. I'm going to be honest, I was going to say like 2000, because I know that like the 90s is when the first like 3D animation movie came out. Anyways.
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know.
I think it's Toy Story. I don't know though.
I don't know.
First 3D animation. Toy Story 1995. Wow, that would have been exact.
They discovered the third dimension in the 90s. Breaking news on Too Casual Podcast. Third dimension discovered in the 90s.
1995.
Just like how there's no color before there's no such thing as color before 1939.
Exactly.
The entire world was black and white. There's no color. They talk about this in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, the new movie on Netflix. Please go check it out. It's by Charlie Kaufman, one of the greatest directors of all time. Directed Synecdoche, New York. If you're a DCD fan, you might know him from Adaptation, Being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine to the Spotless Mind. But anyways, they're talking about how color just doesn't exist. Color's not a real thing. Like, this Rubik's Cube does, like, we see color on it. But technically there's no such thing as color, and there's nothing on it. Our brain is just interpreting it. But like the physical thing I'm holding has no color. Color's not a real thing.
Correct. It's light refraction.
It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
If you want to get super into, we had a high school science teacher that was like, nothing can touch another thing.
Confucius.
It's impossible for something to touch something else.
I tell people that all the time because it blew my mind when he told me, and I want other people to feel that.
I mean, he's not wrong, I guess, on technically.
He's not. It's literally not touching.
At a molecular level.
We're always floating.
On a molecular level, you can't touch something.
Yep. You feel it, but it's just the friction.
What if someone like science proved him wrong? Do you think he could just crumble? Be like, everything I've stand for past 80 years because he's an old man. It's everything. It's all gone.
Retire from teaching.
He still teaches.
No more teaching these young kids.
I never had his class, but everyone talks about that.
Yep. I had his class. It was awesome. He makes $1 a year. Do you know that?
$1?
Yep.
I thought he made like 128,000 or something like that.
Oh, he makes money from his pension. He retired a long time ago, but he came back under the notion that he could work for $1 a year. That way he could still get his pension and teach, just to give him something to do.
There's some teacher that like he was like the only person. He's like in a very limited field that we had at high school that he made more money than our principal.
I can see that.
And it was a science teacher. I don't remember which one. It was an old guy, old science teacher. I thought it was the guy we were talking about, but I guess I wasn't.
Was it Whitley?
I was trying to avoid names, but
well, nobody knows who that is.
I thought it was Butch.
It might be. I don't know. There's other physics teachers, aren't there?
I don't think so. I think he's the only one.
Oh, well, there were definitely other chemistry teachers, which is what Whitley was. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It could be an urban legend, like the pool thing.
I know Whitley drove like an old Camaro. It was like a 70s, and it was like super slick.
I don't know about that. I also don't care about cars, so I wouldn't like ever like. If someone told me that, I would one in one ear, out the other.
Just like now.
Yeah, I'll probably never remember that.
Yeah.
You'll ask me in an hour, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't know.
What?
He drove a Cadillac.
He drove a car.
Yeah, he drove a car.
A truck.
He drove one of those things that has 4 wheels. You know? I'm out of topics. Did you bring a topic today?
I didn't.
Come on. Just at least bring one. You didn't write a paragraph.
I'm supposed to bring one?
You didn't bring a paragraph and you didn't bring a topic? Nothing. Nothing came out. Nothing was eye-popping in the news or on Twitter.
Dude, I'm sure it was, but right now on the spot, no. I'm sure there's a lot of things that happen.
Yeah. I think I talked about this last week.
Ja Morant got 99 out of 100 votes for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, so slept on, man.
Slept on. I wonder what the one person
voted for Zion.
Yeah, but like
the literally only reason why Ja, like, it's simply because Ja played more games. Ja isn't a better player than Zion.
Right.
And us being from the Murray area where Ja went to college, people will fucking bring pitchforks and torches to my house for saying that. And like they're always like, oh, he slept on. They never talk about Ja Morant in the media. He was literally the second overall pick. Like, he was the second overall pick. Like, Zion is a better basketball player. I hate to break it to you. There's a reason why Zion went 1 and Ja went 2. It's not like last year's draft, that insane depth. Or last year's draft technically was at Ja's. 2 years ago's draft where the draft was insane and DeAndre Ayton went first overall. DeAndre Ayton, super slept on, by the way. DeAndre Ayton is a very good basketball player that no one talks about. Besides steroid scandal. We'll get past that. But
it's not important.
DeAndre Ayton is a very good basketball player, but no one talks about him because Luka Doncic went 5th. And he's, playing at MVP level. You also have Trae Young there, who's like a human highlight reel, whenever DeAndre Ayton has more of a less highlight, like more traditional, like big man, like just get the rebounds, put back dunks and stuff.
Yeah. Like a Steven Adams type deal.
Which, like, people were like, I guess technically with Luka being so good, DeAndre Ayton, like, I wouldn't say he's a bust, but he went too early. Like, Luka clearly, obviously, is the best player in that draft from what we know now.
Ayton's like 15th. He's a good player.
But DeAndre Ayton still would have gone top 5.
Yeah.
Like, out of the top 5, probably Bagley is the worst, I guess. I can't remember who else went. It was Bagley, Ayton, Luca, and Young. And I'm missing who went third, I think. No, I'm missing who went second. Who went second? I'm being stupid. No, Bagley went second. Bagley went second, definitely. Let's see. Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. is also great. So yeah, Bagley's the worst one there. I guess. Yeah. Out of those 4, or out of those 5. But then there's like a somewhat big drop off after that because Mo Bamba went, and then Wendell Carter. Very solid draft though, by the way. I tend to not want to talk about sports on this podcast, but I just went on like a little rant. And then at the end of the first round, you have Landry Shamet, who was really good. And you have like Mitchell Robinson in the second round. WKU legend Mitchell Robinson. He went there for 2 days, or 2 weeks, sorry.
And Javon Carter. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Javon Carter. Memphis Grizzlies legend Javon Carter.
He's a GOAT, dude. That was a good draft. Wow.
Yeah, and then you look at last year's draft, and literally outside of Zion and Ja, the draft sucks. I mean, there's some guys that are good, like Tyler Hero is really good. Matisse Thybulle is really good. Brandon Clark's very good. But like in comparison to that draft, this last draft is like awful.
Yeah. Who's going first overall in this year's draft?
The Minnesota Timberwolves have the pick, so it'll probably be Casey Anthony. Casey. Why am I saying Casey? What is his name? Now I can't think of it because I just said Casey Anthony. Dude, what is his name? He's a shooting guard. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna look up mock draft now. Anthony Edwards, that's his name.
From Georgia?
Yeah. Casey Anthony. Anthony Edwards is going first because Timberwolves have pick.
You got one of the names right.
I don't know why I thought of Casey Anthony. What? She's not even like in the slightest relevant to today or like in the news. You know? Drake's lagging a lot right now, so I don't know if he's talking. You would hear him because we record audio after. We're talking a lot about basketball. The Celtics, man, that game 3, yikes. How do you let that in? How do you just not guard OG Anunoby with 0.5 seconds left? But I'm pretty confident we'll make it to the next round. I doubt we'll make the finals. It will probably Heat Bucks series is very interesting. Heat playing really well against the Bucks, which I was expecting going into the round. They match up against the Bucks very well, and Giannis isn't looking that. There's a lot of talks about Giannis not being an elite defender because he's not going one-on-one with Jimmy Butler. I just think, the coaches know what they're doing, I think my internet's dead. That's what's going on. Yeah, my internet's dead. We'll get back to you in a second whenever I was talking, but yeah, Bucks, Heat, all that's going on. Yeah, that's fun. Basketball. It's my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. We'll be right back. And we're back. My internet died. That's why Drake was gone. And did my internet die again? Drake's frozen. No way. No way. Get real. Unbelievable. Alright, now hopefully we're actually back. Discord. They just don't want this episode to happen. Yeah, we had the episode 2 weeks ago that I accidentally trashed it. Maybe the universe just doesn't want this podcast to be a thing.
Yeah. It's like probably our best episode gets trashed. The second we started talking, my Discord shut off.
I don't know. I think each episode we get better, as in like, I don't know. Each episode we feel each other out better. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly me trying to get used to this.
Something that the fans like is us. Something that I don't like about this podcast, but apparently the fans like, is that I hate that we don't have topics, and it's really on me because I can bring topics. I just don't. It's on me completely. But the fans like me making up topics like randomly.
Yeah. I mean, it's just more true to us.
Yeah. I told Drake while my internet was out for like 10 minutes to bring a topic or just find a topic. So, whenever you were gone, I talked about basketball for like maybe 3 minutes.
Okay.
Only Eastern Conference, because Eastern Conference is the best conference. I don't care that the Western Conference has way better teams. It's a way stacked conference. The Eastern Conference is the best. Now, I'm only saying that because I'm a Celtics fan, and also the Eastern Conference has historically been the better conference. Drake, what was the topic that you brought?
So, I just want to know how you feel about this. There's apparently a guy that wants to break a Guinness World Record for seeing a movie the most times while it's in theater.
All right. What movie is that? Tenet?
It is Tenet, and you were a person that could have done this.
I feel like anybody could have done it. I watched Sonic twice.
Okay, but that's way more than I did.
You know how I'm going to debunk your theory of me doing this? I don't know the actual number. I have to Google it. But there's one guy that watched like Alita Battle Angel like 50-something times in theaters.
Well, this guy's trying to watch it 120 times. For the record.
I don't know how to like look up that guy. I remember seeing it. Like it was like about like the Alita Battle Angel fans are like super into it. It's not even like a good movie. Like I hate to break it to you, bud. But I mean, the coolest thing about it to me is that it's Robert Rodriguez movie, and Robert Rodriguez did Spy Kids, and yeah, I just think it's funny. But like the fandom behind that movie is so like insane for like no reason. Like I get it's, I don't know, like I don't really get it. I don't know why I said I get. It's just a pretty generic movie to me, and I don't see it. You know, it's pretty like generic. We covered it on DCD, and I hate the fact that it felt like it does one of the things that I hate, especially with TV and movies. It like forces a sequel instead of like like Stranger Things 3 is the best example for me to Stranger Things season 3. The ending of Stranger Things season 3, they didn't do it. This is a bad example actually now that I'm thinking about it, but I'll keep on going with it. The ending of Stranger Things season 3 was the perfect ending to that TV show. Most TV shows struggle with finding an ending, and it having that like perfect ending was great. And they're like, oh, we have season 4 now. So stupid. A better example, would be The Boys recent TV show. I don't know if you've seen it, the superhero show. It's on Prime.
Mm-mm.
Basically, it has like this perfect, and I have to explain it for Alita Battle Angel because you haven't seen that either. It has a complete story, all right?
Yeah.
Perfect complete story. Has, you know, the rising action, the climax, the resolution, and then like the last 5 minutes, they're like, oh wait, there's this. And then they had to do a new thing. It's so stupid. Like, why do you, like, you can do a sequel without doing that. You don't have to do that to create a sequel.
Yeah, you can just play on a different.
But I guess like the whole like Marvel like after credits thing makes people like, you have to engage interest. Like the Sonic one where like Dr. Robotnik's like like you could theoretically, Sonic did it good. I'll give Sonic credit for that. Where it's not, you could inherently not make a sequel to that movie and it be any different because the teaser to the next movie, you could just take it at, no wait, didn't they? No, I'm lying. They showed Tails off.
Yeah, Tails came in.
I'm thinking of whenever Dr. Robotnik is going crazy in that world.
In the world, yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. I completely forgot about Tails. So
yeah, if they would have stopped there, yeah.
I lied. They did do the thing that I hate.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't think about that. They almost slipped one past the goalie. They almost got a 5-hole right there. Almost gave Sonic credit
the
for
goalie.
once. You like that term?
I'm just but I'm just proud that you tried to give Sonic credit.
He almost got it, but
It did.
Then I was like, wait,
One day.
just
One day.
kidding. I will say, Sonic. I hated when I watched that movie. All right, I've told people on this podcast several times that I've seen it in theaters twice. By the way, what episode? I told you to watch Sonic in theaters. You said you watched it with Jenny. You definitely did not watch it with Jenny. You watched it with me in theaters, bud. Jenny has not seen Sonic movie.
Yeah, that's true. I said that?
Yeah. Because I was like,
Dude, I'm gonna be
you were
honest,
like,
I
me and
just
Jenny are
assumed-
going to go to the movies, which you guys didn't do, by the way. So you lied twice in like 2 sentences. Because I was at the movies working, and you did not show up. I'm just memeing right now.
Yeah, we didn't go to the movies Friday.
What was I saying? Oh. So, the thing I wanted really desperately, if I'm going to give any credit to Sonic, I watched the movie literally, like, I watched the 4 o'clock showing, I dropped off my friend, and then I went to Drake's house. We met somewhere. Then we went and watched Sonic at like 7. And I really wanted to see the scene where Dr. Robotnik is dancing in his like vehicle. And I had to pee. And I tried to calculate it. I was like, I had to pee so bad. I was like trying to hold it to wait past this. I was like, all right, I'm going to go. I think I have like 5 minutes to kill. I come back and the scene like has gone and passed. I was like, dang it. I really wanted to see Drake's reaction to Dr. Robotnik dancing. I don't know why. But Drake loves Sonic movie. So did Alex.
I do.
So I guess
Yeah.
if anybody likes it, Alex should. You know, he's the Sonic fanboy.
Yeah.
You haven't played Mario game. You ever played a Sonic game?
I have. I don't remember which one.
You watched me play a Sonic game at your house that one time.
Yeah. My uncle used to have like a, well, not he used to. He had a computer and he had it downloaded on there. I don't remember which one it was, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot of information, but yeah, that's,
Yeah, I mean, that's all the information you have. So,
yeah.
you can't really explain it better. How you gonna explain a Sonic game better? Was it a 2D one or a 3D one?
2D.
Yeah, that's how most of them are. That's how like all of them are. Besides like
This
2.
isn't helping.
Yeah. That's gonna be it for Too Casual Podcast, episode number 8. If you want to support us, you can give us a 5-star review on iTunes. You can tell your mom, your dad, your best friend. Show our podcast to your dog or even your cat.
They might like it.
Drake, do you have any notes to leave us out on?
No, but I got a hog of the week.
I keep on forgetting about Hog of the Week. It's the second episode in a row that I forgot about Hog of the Week before I did the outro. Drake.
That's so sad. That's
Who
just always
is-
forgotten about.
It's because that episode, the lost episode, my brain just like, I forgot how to podcast. Because the lost episode, like somehow me not editing that just completely ruined.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the 2 episodes after that, you know, maybe
what happens.
me deleting that podcast created 2 separate timelines where
Oh my gosh.
we're on the dark side of it.
We're on the
And
struggle
the other
one.
side, our podcast like blew up, and we're on the Struggle Fest one where I forgot how to make a podcast. Drake, who is the hog of the week?
The hog of the week is Taylor Decker.
He signed an extension.
He did. He's a lineman for the
Detroit
the
Lions.
Lions. He signed a 6-year, $85 million extension, which is like $14 million a year. So shout out the Hogs.
Yeah. My dog of the
It's
week.
just, I get excited about it.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm,
That's cool and all. Taylor
I'm
Decker.
keyed in on dog of the
Yeah.
week.
Dog of the week is pretty obvious. Chadwick Boseman. You got to do it. You
Yep.
know, it's the obvious.
I almost made him my hog of the week.
I was low key when I typically try to guess hog of the week.
Yeah.
That's who my money was on.
Yeah. It was either him. It was going to be him, and I decided just to keep the lineman thing going because I thought that you would pick it for dog of the week, which is why I didn't.
I could have just messed you up. There's another person I thought about Dog Week. Could be like Charlie Kaufman. Or there's a couple other people. Like Charlie Kaufman, I'm Thinking of Ending Things on Netflix came out yesterday. Have I told you about it? Check it out. Great movie.
Watch it. Watch it.
I don't know if you would like it. I would really be interested in you watching it and getting back to me on your opinions on this podcast. Because we'd have to do no spoilers.
So I gotta watch 2 movies for next week?
You don't have to. I'm just kind of like forcing it because we're saying it on the podcast, you know?
Yeah, so no, I really have to.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
You don't
But I'm kind of like forcing your hand, you know? Like, you kind of have.
But everybody would hate you if you didn't.
No one would notice if you didn't. I doubt. The only people that listen to this podcast is my mom and my brother.
Shout out them.
What was I saying? I don't think you've ever seen a movie like that. It's from the movies that we've just discussed. I don't think you've ever seen a movie like it. Or it'd just be interesting to hear your thoughts on it, and it'd be non-spoiler because the movie just came out, you know. So it'd be hard to talk about because the main part I'm talking about of a movie that you've never seen like this is kind of inherently a spoiler. You know? Like, to explain that, I don't know if I should say this because people are going to take what I say here and act like I'm going to say it with this movie. So I'm just saying that has nothing to apply with this movie, the part that I'm talking about. This could be with this movie, it could not. And me saying that makes you think that it is in it, but trust me. Just imagine we never talked about this movie between the statement. This has nothing to do with the movie that I'm talking about. It's like when people say there's a twist in it. How that's a spoiler. The thing that I want to talk to you about, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Mentioning that is kind of a spoiler. If that makes sense.
Okay, I'm following you.
Like, it's not like a big twist at the end in this movie. Like, that's not what happens. But saying, like, when you're talking to someone about a movie, like, oh, there's a big twist at the end. Like, people say that all the time. And, like, for some reason, that's normalized to say that there's a twist, even though that's a massive spoiler. Because once you know that, you're going to go into the movie just the entire time you're sitting there, just like, you're trying to predict the twist.
Yeah.
And that, like, ruins the twist. Like, the main thing of a twist is, like, blowing you away. You know, because you don't know anything about it. That's how, like, Blade Runner 2049, my favorite movie experiences of all time. There is, like, the story didn't go how I wanted it. I wouldn't necessarily say a twist. It wasn't, like, a big, like, oh, the whole thing you've been watching the whole time is completely different. There wasn't, like, the story didn't go in the way that I expected it. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I went into that movie not knowing anything about the Blade Runner universe, and it just, like, encapsulated me into it. And that's what made it so fun. Like, I just didn't know anything about it. You know?
Right.
I'm going off tangents. That's Too Casual Podcast episode 8. I think we went a little bit over an hour. Before I did the original outro, I think it was exactly an hour. If my predictions were right with the 2 recordings. Probably not. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll see you later. Adios.